Hi, my name is Kate McConnell. I'm with Pittsburgh Storytelling Series. And in October, we are having our second event for our third season of Tell. And the featured teller this month will be Misty Mator. And we are delighted that she's given us a few minutes of her time to come and talk to us and tell us what inspires her to be such a great storyteller. So welcome, Misty.
Hi, Kate. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, this should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. So, Misty, you have to solve a mystery for me.
Okay.
You are a graphic designer. You are a marketing agent. You are a theater director. You are a mom of 4 or 5 children, I believe,
Four, just
or
four.
4 children, and you are a professional storyteller.
Yes.
How do those intersect in your life? Where do you see the connection between those two that makes sense?
Well, I think the connection between all of the professional things you said is just story. I remember when I was in college, I couldn't decide what I wanted to major in, and my professor said that he looked for the thing where all of his interests, the one umbrella that everything went under. And I remember being in college, I'm like, story or literature, writing, theater, it's all story. And it wasn't until, you know, gosh, almost a decade later that I sort of fell into storytelling when I volunteered in my son's classroom to come in and tell stories as a storyteller. So that was sort of the interconnection, as story brought me into my kids' classroom and story brought me through literature and theater. I started performance in theater, and then I also always had my foot on the tech side, and that was usually doing the marketing, promoting. I always wanted everybody to know about the show, and it was easier to just design the flyers myself. And I wouldn't call myself an artist, but I can take things, it's like scrapbooking, electronically. So that's sort of where the graphic design comes in. But the throughway for all of those things is story for me. And then, yeah, I'm not sure where else I was going with that, but
Okay.
story is the connecting for me for all of that.
So you would go into your children's classrooms and tell stories. Do you remember for you, what is the first story you ever remember hearing that had a big impression on you?
Oh, I don't know if I can remember the first one. My grandmother used to tell me stories, and how she ended up, she always told stories. It was a family tradition. Her mother told stories. She told stories to her kids, but she was really a advocate for literacy. She would read to me, but she quickly learned that if she told me a story in the dark, I was more likely to go to bed faster than if she read me a book. Because
Yeah,
if she
yeah.
read me a book, then she'd have to turn off the light. Oh, it's dark, don't leave me. So she would just turn off the light and tell me a story. I can't remember the first one, but I do remember my favorite one that had an impact on me. I remember being Frau Holle, or Mother Holly, which is a popular story in Germany, which I've told before. I think it had an impact on me because there was elements in the story that were in my own life, like the feather blankets
Mm,
that's in that story, and I really connected with that. And it was special because not a lot of other kids knew that story. So that sort of made an impact to me that I was able to identify with this story, and I found a place where I felt like I fit. Whereas I wasn't always the most popular kid in school. I didn't really fit there, but I don't know, the stories reminded me of home in a way that, other parts of my life didn't.
okay. What kind of stories do you tell?
Well, I prefer to tell folk tales and fairy tales, and I think part of that is that at this point in my life, between the 4 kids and the other hats I'm wearing, I don't have enough bandwidth to come up with a lot of my own original stories. So I prefer to tell folk tales, and I prefer to tell stories that have some kind of inspiring message or something that helps you with your daily life. I also like telling funny personal stories because that's my therapy. If I can get somebody else to laugh about what happened to me, then I can laugh at it too. And like I said, I like to tell inspirational stories too.
Okay. So can you just give us, without being a spoiler, can you give us a little maybe glimpse into what the kind of things we might hear when on October 21st when you tell?
Well, there are definitely going to be some folk tales. I have at least one story that I've had percolating for a few years that I've never had the chance to tell publicly before, so I'm excited to be sharing that story. I'm going to stretch myself a little bit and try to include some characters that sing, so it'll either be really wonderful or really terrible, and you can laugh at me, so we'll have a good time no matter what happens. And I'll probably try to include at least one story about my kids because they fill up my life and lots of funny things happen when you have that many bodies trying to get around in one house.
Okay.
So definitely those will be some of the things you can look forward to on my show that I'm so excited to be performing for Tell on October 21st, 2021, 10/21/2021.
Yeah, that's fortuitous, as they say, at 7 p.m. And if they want to get tickets to come and see you, what do they do?
You can go to tell 2021.eventcombo.com.
All right. We are looking forward to it. I know I am. I've heard you tell before, and you always know that I just get a kick out of whatever kind of story you tell. So thanks for giving us this little bit of time, this little taster, just have to tie us over until October 21st.
Thanks for
Misty.
having me, Kate. I'm looking forward to it.
See ya. Bye-bye.